but IQ. He understands the sport. He looks at it in a mental sense. He knows what he needs to do.
Yes, he did. He said, well, if Ray Leonard could beat Marvelous Marvin Hagler, then Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez.
Terence got a great chance to beat him, man. You know what I mean? Terence can box, Terence can move, Terence can punch. You know what I mean? Terence ain't gonna be doing like Skull.
Lennox Lewis has been impressed by Terence Crawford's brutal training camp ahead of the Canelo fight. He praised Crawford's discipline and sharp boxing IQ, noting that when Crawford locks in with complete focus, he knows exactly what it takes to win. For Lewis, this kind of preparation proves that Crawford is fully ready for the challenge.
Stay at the top and be at the top. He moves very well. He's a very elusive mover, and his work rate is high.
I won't ask you who's going to win the fight because I know it's a question you've probably been asked a million times, but I will ask you, do you think this fight goes the distance, or do you think this fight ends inside the distance?
Interesting.
Crawford's trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, has made it clear that the magnitude of this fight is not overwhelming his fighter. According to Bomac, Crawford feels no added pressure going into this historic clash with Canelo Alvarez. He explained that Crawford has approached the bout with calm focus, treating it as another challenge in his legendary career. McIntyre emphasized that Crawford knows exactly what must be done inside the ring. His preparation has been sharp, deliberate, and built around flawless execution. For Crawford, this isn't about hype. It's about proving once again that he is the pound-for-pound best. Bomac insists his fighter is mentally calm, physically sharp, and strategically prepared to shock the boxing world.
No, I don't think there's no pressure on Terence because Terence gonna fight the way that he's used to fight. So by saying all that stuff that Turkey say or anybody else say, that doesn't bother Terence not one bit. You know, we train for one way, the way we're gonna fight, and that's the way we're gonna get the job done.
When people talk about this fight and they talk about the outcome of the fight, the sort of narrative online is that, look, Terence was moving up in weight, but we all know Terence can crack. When that fight was made with Errol Spence, it was seen as a 50-50 fight, and in reality what it was one of the most destructive performances I've ever seen. Should fans be surprised if Terence could manage to stop Canelo?
I think their fans are going to be surprised when he dismantled Canelo. You know, the more time goes on, the more time Terence can settle into that weight, the worse is off for the opponent.
The last one from me, because I know this time is now at that minute as you were talking, so I just had one more question. If he manages to get through Canelo Alvarez, does that cement his place on the Mount Rushmore of boxing?
You just answered the question.
Rhetorical.
Legendary commentator Larry Merchant compared the upcoming showdown to one of boxing's most iconic upsets. He recalled when Sugar Ray Leonard defeated Marvin Hagler, a fight many thought Leonard had no chance of winning. Merchant believes Crawford's situation mirrors that historic moment. The smaller, faster technician against a naturally bigger, stronger champion. Just as Leonard relied on movement, timing, and ring intelligence to outmaneuver Hagler, Merchant argues Crawford has the style to do the same against Canelo. In his eyes, the blueprint has already been written in boxing history, and Crawford has the tools to execute it perfectly.
I asked the great Larry Merchant, I said, do you think Terence Crawford has a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez? And Larry said, Jim, did Ray Leonard get an official decision victory over Marvelous Marvin Hagler? And I said, yes, he did. He said, well, if Ray Leonard could beat Marvelous Marvin Hagler, then Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. And I said, why do you say that? He said, same equation, get in, get out, get in, get out, over and over and over. He's got to figure the angles and the approaches that will allow him to step in, land to the body, or occasionally upstairs, and then get out. That's what Ray did so effectively against Hagler.
Respected trainer Buzzy Ennis dropped a bold prediction when analyzing this fight. He argued that Canelo Alvarez has shown signs of frustration in the past when dealing with slick, mobile fighters, and Crawford is the exact type who can push him to that point. Unlike previous opponents such as John Ryder or Callum Smith, who lacked the versatility to trouble Canelo, Crawford is a master at creating angles, landing sharp counters, and forcing rivals into uncomfortable positions. Ennis believes this. Fight won't be decided by brute strength, but by rhythm and control. If Crawford succeeds in frustrating Canelo, the path to a career-defining victory will open wide.
You know that if he can't touch you, you know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean?
Now, did watching that make you feel like Terrence Crawford has better than a 50% chance? After watching, I know we've seen him against Lara back in the day, but now this is supposed to be a new and improved Canelo.
Yeah. I think, like I said, Terrence got a great chance to beat him, man. You know what I mean? Terrence can box, Terrence can move, Terrence can punch. You know what I mean? Terrence ain't gonna be doing like Skull. Terrence gonna fight you. You know what I mean? He's Terrence from the street, man. You know what I mean? He know what to do. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it. I think he's gonna wind up frustrating Canelo. You know what I mean?
So what's the right way? Because Skull was moving too much. Is as soon as he as soon as you turn him, then is that when you start firing off?
Well, see, the thing is, the right way, the way I would have my fighter doing is I'm boxing him, you know what I mean? And he coming at me, I'm hitting him, pop, 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 pop. And soon he gets set, I'll tie him up. Walking to the center. You know what I mean? We cruise to the ropes and do the same thing and keep on frustrating, hit with the jab, boom, boom. Keep on moving, but also hitting him though. You know what I mean? And he gets frustrated, then he let his guards down. And it's a good night.
Bernie the Boxer, another key figure in Crawford's corner, issued a strong warning to Canelo Alvarez. He boldly declared that Canelo is tailor-made for Terrence Crawford. In Bernie's view, Canelo's style, powerful, methodical, and at times, predictable, fits perfectly into Crawford's ability to read opponents and adjust mid-fight. He praised Crawford's discipline, instincts, and fearlessness, saying his fighter is coming not just to compete in a super fight, but to dominate it. Bernie made it clear that Crawford knows exactly how to win, and he's willing to walk through fire to prove it.
Well, a lot of people are saying about Crawford's age, but, you know, no boxing, no life, as Canelo would say. And Crawford still, you know, in age, but he ain't took no punishment. He's cautious, you know, he works hard throughout these years. So, you know, of course you're gonna, you know, you gotta count that in the factor, but in his heart and his mind and his spirit, he's still youthful about boxing. He loves boxing, and this is one way to get him up. You know, he's a challenge guy. He loves a challenge, and Canelo is the biggest challenge you can get. You know, we got to go up 2 weight classes, really 3 weight classes to get a guy like that. Hardest puncher, great counter puncher, tons of experience, undisputed champion, unified champion, a couple of divisions champion. And so we didn't get the Pacquiao or the Mayweather, but we getting Canelo, and nothing comes easy to Team Crawford, and expect us to look good on the 12th. Expect us to come out victorious September 12th.
No, we obviously just saw his fight against Skull, and people didn't obviously enjoy it. The back foot boxing from Skull and whatever. Yeah. But what fight can fans expect from Bud? Because a lot of people think that it'll be similar to that or the Charlo fight or whatever like that.
The one thing about Crawford is he got guts. Them bums ain't have no guts. Them bums didn't want to win. Crawford want to win. That's it. It ain't about no belt. It ain't about nothing. You didn't sign the contract. We want to win, and he want to be the best, and he is the best. So that's what's going to be the difference. You know, Crawford got guts. He got a fighting spirit. So when you see Crawford, he going to go in there and get busy with Canelo. Don't you even doubt that. You understand? You ain't never seen Crawford stay on the back foot in no fight in his life. You understand? He the type of guy to go get you. So expect him to go get him. We're going to do everything we can to him. We're going to do whatever we got to do. But one thing you can expect is Crawford is going to step to him. Because you can't beat Canelo going on the back foot forever. You got to go get him. You got to do something. And he better know Crawford is coming.
To prepare for Canelo, Crawford has brought in sparring partners who can mimic the Mexican champion's style. One of the most notable is Lester Martinez, a skilled professional known for his strength and pressure. Martinez has pushed Crawford in training, testing his ability to absorb power while forcing him to adapt. Reports suggest Crawford has looked sharp in these sessions, showcasing his counterpunching, precision, and ability to handle super middleweight power. Sparring with fighters like Martinez ensures that Crawford enters the ring fully acclimated to Canelo's size and style.
Preparation from sparring, like Terrence being with Lester Martinez, he's about as good a concoction you could hope for as a sparring partner. I need a guy who can come forward with good timing, who's sharp, who got good power in both hands. Lester Martinez for Terence Crawford. If you're Canelo, I need a guy that can switch. I need a guy with length. I need a guy with power, with skill. He gets Darrell Valsaint, who's 6'1", 154. He switch hits, southpaw, mostly southpaw like Terence, but can switch. Good long, his arms are almost the exact same length as Terence Crawford. And he's a young 23-year-old good athlete. And then I don't know if Canelo's sparring with Marco Verde, who won the silver medal for Mexico, but Marco Verde would, again, 5'11", long arms, southpaw, can switch. I would think between Darrell Valsaint and Marco Verde, Canelo's getting awesome preparation. And then Terence with Lester Martinez. This is speculative, but someone did mention it to me on Twitter when I was talking about Canelo preparing with Valsaint. They go, well, Lester Martinez had to go home with migraines and pull out of a fight, and he was sparring with Terence Crawford. So, I mean, it's speculative, but you're like, wow, well, if you put 2 and 2 together, if he was getting migraines for sparring Terence Crawford and had to pull out of a fight because of it, then that must mean Terence Crawford is doing well in the gym.
Analysts are buzzing about the stylistic clash this fight promises. Canelo Alvarez is known for his patient, thunderous approach, applying steady pressure and unleashing devastating body shots and uppercuts when the moment is right. In contrast, Terence Crawford thrives on rhythm, adaptability, and improvisation. He switches stances effortlessly, pivots into new angles, and strikes with surgical timing. Experts agree this is more than power versus speed. It's calculation against creativity. Canelo embodies method and strength, while Crawford brings unpredictability and adaptability. That contrast could produce one of the greatest chess matches modern boxing has ever seen.
Predictable. I think Canelo, he likes to go to the same combinations, quite repetitively, whereas Crawford is unpredictable, and despite him not having the size, it's the shots that you don't see that hurt the most, and maybe Crawford can hit him with some unexpected shit. And because of the repetitiveness of Canelo, maybe he can time him, maybe he can counter punch with him, because Crawford is unbelievable at that. But I'm fascinated to see if Crawford has the power to get the respect of Canelo Alvarez, because when you don't, it's a long night. It's not nice. Like Crawford did well against Madrimov, and he won that fight for me quite clearly. But Madrimov was countering him. If you can counter the counter puncher, you can give them a lot of problems when they're not used to that. And Canelo can counter people really well. And as great as Terence Crawford is, we've never seen him in there with someone with the power of Canelo Alvarez. This is a different world of power. And look, maybe Canelo doesn't throw as many shots as he used to, and maybe Crawford might look at that and go, you know what, I'm going to try and outpoint this guy, not get into a war with him, but just show my boxing, genius and outpoint him and outland him. That's possible. It is. This is why this is such a fascinating matchup, man. We've been treated to some amazing fights. Usyk Fury, for example, this is another one of those mega fights on Riyadh season.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates and in-depth fight analysis. Until next time.